Welcome to Wednesdays with Wayne. It's November and it's time to get a few chores done so that I don't have such a burden in the springtime to get the landscape ready. I'm going to give you a couple of maintenance tips here in my own yard. I've done a little bit of shrub pruning. The general rule with pruning shrubs is that anything blooming in the spring should really be pruned after blooming. The stuff that blooms in the summertime can be pruned at this time. Now, in this case, I was trying to control size on these 9-barks. These are some Diablo 9-barks, and they were about 8 to 10 foot tall. So even though they bloom in the spring, I did take them down a little bit here in the fall so that they weren't quite so tall. This is one called Little Devil 9-bark, and in this case, I left it at its normal size to let it bloom in the spring, and then I'll do a little bit of light pruning on it. When it comes to perennials, such as our hostas, Sun King Aurelia, Astilbes, this entire bed was filled with those types of perennials. You can see from this photo here that the hostas were completely died back. I let the carbohydrates and nutrients go back to the root system. Then I took my riding lawnmower through this particular bed and took everything down and mulched it within the bed. This was quite a time-saving thing for me, as within about 15 minutes I was able to clean up this entire bed. When it comes to certain shrubs that are still in color, I want to leave them up, and again, spring blooming Itias, sweet spires, these are showing some great fall color. I want to leave these alone, let them bloom in the springtime, and then give them a light shear. In terms of all my hydrangeas, I'm going to leave them up with these very showy panicles for wintertime. They're going to offer some great winter interest, some snow sitting on top of these panicles, being that there's not a lot going on in the wintertime. I really want to leave these all up, and I'll do a heavy pruning on most of my hydrangeas. I'll bring you a video in the springtime to let you know some of the general rules for that. A few other perennials, you can opt to either leave the seed heads for birds and winter interest, as these black-eyed Susans and your coneflowers, or you can opt to do some cutting back down to the basal foliage, as I did with this Veronica, and you can kind of see some protection there even for winter time. But these stems have all been cut off and ready for spring. Finally, the ornamental grasses I really do like to leave up because they provide some great winter interest. I'll cut them back in March down to about 2 to 4 inches from the ground. So thank you for joining Wednesdays with Wayne, sponsored by Niemeyer's Landscape Supply. And remember, beautiful landscapes start here.